So let's talk about the things that decrease your immune system. And powerlessness is one of the number one things. Powerlessness, fear, and lack of being able to use your voice, like lack of communication, feeling restrained in some way, shape, or form, which we basically are all in right now. So now more than ever, it's super important to do your inner work to increase your immune system. Anytime you have a fear-provoking thought, that's why I say don't watch any scary shows on Netflix right now. But anytime you have any of those contracting thoughts, it is 50 times more powerful than a positive thought. So basically, in order to outweigh a negative thought, you have to just swarm your nervous system with positive thinking or neutral thinking. And you also have to, the word alignment has really, it's something I feel so strongly about, bringing your body, your spirit, and your soul into full alignment. That means actually physically aligning your spine in whatever way, shape. The only reason why your body gets out of alignment anyways is because you have some sort of an emotional or spiritual imbalance, or it could be something the way you're using yourself. So we all really super need to bring ourselves back to balance. We need to be aware of what's causing us to, that's bringing us out of balance, whether it's working way too much, which we all know who those people are, and it's using our bodies and our postures in ways that they weren't meant to be used, and it's in using ourselves too forcefully. This is basically an epidemic, and I'm saying this a lot from the clients who I'm working with, as well as my intuition, that we're all sort of like putting too much pressure on ourselves, and we're putting more effort into doing the simple things such as even getting out of bed or doing work on computer. Like ideally when you're doing computer work, you want the words to come out and meet you rather than you reaching for it and grasping for them. So as a collective consciousness, we are putting too much force, too much effort, and we're like holding on and controlling too much, like so many aspects of our life. And so one of the reasons why the coronavirus, there's always a why, is to help us to learn how to unravel those holding patterns and just to sit in the not knowing and just to sit with the being, like literally being in the moment. This is fully an art of being in the moment. And I was thinking actually right before I got on this call, when I don't get sick very often, but when I do, I kind of love it because it's like, okay, now I have an excuse just to read, just to, do my inner work, to maybe watch Netflix, a nice movie, take a bath, all those kind of things, which I don't give myself permission to do in my everyday busy life. And so in a way, this is sort of like a staycation, a vacation. So in some ways, I'm kind of liking it. And I'm saying this because it's really important to look at the positives of a negative. I'm not saying that people are not going to get the coronavirus. I'm not even saying that you're not going to get the coronavirus. Actually, they're finding out now that the strands are shifting and changing, and the SARS strands are getting stronger. And so this is the time that we have to basically build up our immune systems to fight back the strengthening viruses that are coming our way. And not just for the coronavirus, but everything. I'm from California, and so we had like fires, and we have to strengthen our immune system to fight the air of the fires and the pollution and all the things that are going on in the environment everywhere, even the volcano in Hawaii, that still affects us here today. We are part of an interconnected web, and it's super important that we don't feed into the fear that everybody else is feeling and take it into our body and have a contracted state. Now, I'm not saying that fear is a bad thing, because fear is a motivating factor. So towards taking an action that could be helpful. Usually fear stems from at the root avoiding something that is life-threatening. And what happens when we're in that state is we react quite impulsively, and sometimes beyond ways in which we would act otherwise. And so that impulsive kind of reacting, like around the stock market, is pulling us away from connection. It's pulling us away from our highest and desired state. Fear in and of itself is a very disconnecting and isolating vibration. When you're in fear, or if you're in fear of somebody else, like say right now, we go to some Safeway and there's other people there and we're fearing that person and that person, it's basically a push away vibration. And what you push away is actually going to push you away as well. And It's basically going to isolate you. It's going to reinforce and solidify. And I could already feel, I mean, I am not saying I'm without fear. Let me just get that straight. I'm human too. But I could feel that petrifying kind of vibration with inside of me that feels more isolating and separating. And this is why last night I had so much anxiety in my chest, which is really unusual. It was like my heart was racing. And I was like, I'm feeling isolated. I'm feeling kind of like this desperate feeling, which I actually hadn't felt since I was single. And my husband's like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know. It was nothing that he was going to be able to help me with either. But I realized that that was my impetus to actually create these free online healings because, well, partly for selfish reasons, because I want to be connected, but also when I help you, I help myself. But when I help you to unravel your web of fear, it basically feeds into the cellular matrix of what's going on in the universe and helps me back. Now, fear is part of the primordial soup that's been going on generations and generation and generation. I have this belief that we're actually healing the previous generations, but we're especially healing the things from our parents. And like each generation's healing the previous generation more than anything. Also, every generation, pretty much all the way back in time, has had war or genocide or persecution, or you were, in some way, shape, or form had a really good reason for running. And before that, you're running from the tigers and you're running for your life, basically for survival needs. And so fear is embedded inside of all of us. And so now more than ever, because we have really good reason to break out of fear. Fear is immune decreasing. So the more that we alleviate fear from our system, the more we build up our immune system reserves. And while you're doing that, you're helping to heal me, for one thing. And you're also helping to heal the ancestors, which you heal the past generations and you heal the future generations. I have a baby right now. Whether you're planning to have a child or not, that it's the energy that you're passing on, either through the interconnected web or through your gene pool, that you're passing on the fear. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through a meditation where you're going to get in touch with the fear, anxiety that you're having inside your body. You're going to find the root of it in this lifetime, and we're going to do some healing on your inner child. So this is like inner child healing. And then from healing the inner child, you're going to take it into present time and hopefully alleviate some of the emotions, the contracting points that you're feeling in your own body. And then we're going to transmute that into love and strength. And we're going to send that out through the web, through to the greater whole collective. Okay, so I want to begin by just settling into your chair, kind of rock left and right. Make sure you're balanced between your two sit bones. Make sure your head is positioned over your pelvis. This is pretty much how I start all my meditations. But if you want to lay down for this, that's perfectly fine. If you have a blanket you want to put over you, make sure you're warm and cozy, and make sure you're somewhere where you could actually get in touch with yourself. And just connect with your breath. Take a few moments to connect with your breath. Okay, so the way this meditation is going to work is when I ask a question, the answer is going to be the intuitive answer, which is basically the first answer that pops up before the information has time to go to your head. When you hesitate and pause, and usually people's eyes turn upward and they go to their frontal cortex to access the information, then I know instantly that's not the answer I'm looking for. It might be the right answer, but we're not going for the right answer. We're going for the intuitive answer here. Okay. All right. So get in touch with a part of your body where you have worry, fear, or anxiety. And let's just presence that right now. Where is it in your body? And I know for many of you, it's here in your chest. That's where I hold it. And for some people, it's a little bit higher up. When it's more like closer to the throat area, that's more of a strangulation. It's more of, usually these people have had many past lives of being like having their voice withheld, whether in bondage or slavery, or having dominating parents, controlling parents. So just locate where you have the emotion that's the strongest: worry, fear, or anxiety. And by the way, I should probably ask if I have permission to say your name. Let's just say this. If you write your name in the chat, then that basically, I'll take that as permission that I could say your name out loud. And if you prefer not, then use code name. Okay. So anyways, and I'm only going to mention the people who write their name in the chat so I can So I know who I'm speaking to. Okay. Anyways, well, Meryl, yours is definitely like higher up from like your collarbone up, and this, even though this has to do with your leg pain, I see. I mean, anything that's on the physical is really on the emotional. It's presenting on the physical level as pain. That's not really what's going on, but we may or may not get to that. Anyways, I'm just looking at all we're looking at right now. It's how is it's presenting in your body. So get to know this feeling flavor of how you hold your pain, worries. Just sit with this vibration. So sit with this feeling inside of you as if you're not trying to push it away. Because usually when we have these sort of contracting emotions, we do all we can to try to get away from them. So in this meditation, to begin with, I want you just to literally be with what is going on in this area. What is the truth of that area where you're holding your fear, worry, anxiety? When you locate it, just stay there. Just be with it. Accept it. Get to know it. What's the size of it? What's the shape of it? Is it static? Is it moving around? What's going on in this area? And avoid asking any questions that brings you to your head. All I want you to do is simply be with this experience. Rainbow, I love what you just said, that it was in your throat, and right as I said that, it went down to your belly, because that's exactly what I saw. I was like, "What's it doing in your belly?" It's really up there because I know you. Yeah. Take a few more moments. Just be with the emotion that you and just be with the physiological experience in your body. I know I usually try to just avoid it, ignore it, but in this meditation, I actually want you to go in more. So it's the idea of going in to go through. Let it know it's okay to be there. It has every right to be there. It has good reason to be there. Okay, great. Now, the next step, I want you to follow like you're following a rope. You're following a feeling flavor from present time, experiencing that emotion all the way back in time. So I want you to go all the way back to the root. Now, I've done this work long enough to know that the root for most people is between the age of, it's really between the age of birth to 5 or 6, but most people don't say birth. Most people will say 3 to 5 or 6. So ask your intuitive self, at what age did that begin for you? You don't have to have a conscious memory of it. It's an intuitive answer. What age did that feeling flavor begin for you? Okay, great. And when you got an answer, I want you to go back into that time. And most of you, about 75% of you, won't have any conscious memory of that time. But I want you to postulate it or imagine it as if you did have memory, because the truth is you have visceral memory, but not cognitive memory of that time when you're experiencing that emotion. So I want you to go deeply back to that time, and like literally you could make it up. That's what postulate means. Make it up as if you did know the answer. So go back to that young memory when you're experiencing this emotion for the first time. And once again, once you find it, I want you to just simply be with it with full acceptance. Now, if you're having trouble finding it, I know this has happened to me before where I just cannot find it, then you could go ahead and fast forward a little bit older to actually have a conscious memory of it. Okay? So I want you to, my instructions were to go, because I know some people are just hopping on now, to go back to your earliest memory of when you had this fear vibration. But however, if you're unable to postulate or imagine or go back like in and imagine the experience as if it was happening, if that's beyond your reach, then go forward in your childhood to a time when you do remember or you do recall having that experience of fear, worry, anxiety, panic. And once you find it, just simply be with it. Now, if it's too intense for you to be with it, then you could be with it in third person, which means you're imagining it on a movie screen. And if you're able to, you could enter into that experience first person. So in other words, I'm talking to you as you are the 3-year-old or you are the 4-year-old. Okay. So just become that little one and just allow that experience to be your truth. And let the little one know that it's perfectly okay for you to be feeling the way you are, because it makes perfect sense in the environment and in the situation in which you are in. Any and all little kids feel this feeling. And also when they're feeling it, they feel very isolated. They feel very alone and they feel like they're the only one experiencing that. That is the truth of these emotions of anxiety, fear, and panic. We feel isolated in that experience, and we also feel like nobody else could relate. But I want you to tell the little one that that's perfectly normal to feel that way, as any child in that situation would most likely feel that way. Give it permission to be there fully. And anytime if your mind gets distracted, just bring it back. Bring it back to the experience that you're having of feeling this emotion of the fear, the panic, or anxiety, and stay with the one memory. Don't jump around between different experiences. Try to stay with that one the best you can. And see who else is there with you in the room. Are you alone or is somebody else there? What's causing you to feel this way? I know if it's really uncomfortable, the tendency is always to jump out of it. But I really want to encourage you to stick with it. Just the fact that you're on this call means that you're very willing to do the deep dive into healing your inner child, to doing the work, their inner work beyond what most people are willing to do on themselves. Wonderful. Okay, now is where we do the intervention. So let's ask, what does this little one need right now? What would most benefit this little one? So you could either ask the little one as if you're looking at or talking to the little one from your higher self perspective, or you could become the little one and imagine in first person so that I would be asking you, what do you need right in this very moment? I'm speaking to you, the 3-year-old or the 4-year-old or the 5-year-old. What do you need in this very moment? And once again, let the answer float up to meet you. It's going to be an answer like love, to feel accepted, to feel wanted. So go ahead and provide that to the little one. And you might ask, who is the best person to provide this to the little one? And you could fully use your imagination here. It could be a spirit guide, it could be a loving angel, it could be a grandmother that's passed over, it could be your higher self, whoever you want to enter into this experience with the little one or with you, and to give this nutrient, this nourishment to the little one. And we're just going to take a moment to allow this healing to occur for the little one. It looks like the little one really needs to hear that it's going to be all right. Things are going to work out just the way that they should. Everything's going to be okay. And the words trust and faith. There's a little bit of self-doubt for some of you, some of your little ones, and that's perfectly normal and fine, understandable. And so then I'm going to pose a question back to you. What do we need? What does this little one need in that moment of self-doubt? Do they need, maybe they just need to be held, because maybe the truth is the environment really isn't safe. So whatever their story is, there might be truth to that. We're not doubting the story. We're just here to provide support, love, and nourishment in whatever way the little one most needs and wants. So right now I am doing Reiki to kind of enwrap each and every one of you in a warm embrace of safety and nourishment. I'm working on you, Rainbow, right now because you're having a bit of a difficult time believing that things are going to be okay. So I'm like wrapping you in double, triple layer. And Bella, you too. It's basically like I'm wrapping you in like layers, like or a full thick, so that you could. I just actually saw you take a breath, and the breath is basically just stopping the fight and stopping the resistance and stopping the what if, trying to figure it out, and trying to, like, sometimes when you're so exhausted, you just basically need to fall down and collapse. For some people, that's a bad thing. But in some people's cases, like right now, this is what is going on in the world. We literally just need to put down our sword and collapse for a second. And when you do that, that stops the battle. And so I'm encouraging all of you just to do that, just to stop, like literally stop, just stop. Let it all go. Drop everything you're holding onto. Everything, drop it to the ground. So let's all do this, because I see enough of you needing this, just to start by letting go and dropping. And then second, we'll do filling up. But let's just start with the letting go and dropping. So just imagine dropping all your worries to the ground, just like the rain coming down, like it's like so in here and so like shoulders tight for so many of you. And so like literally just drop it. If it's a thing you want to drop, it's a worry you want to drop, I just literally want to see all your shoulders drop, like literally just stop it. Well, I saw Rainbow, you let it go. Good work. And Bella, good. It's like so many of you are trying to find the latest facts and trying to like be up on everything. And it's like, just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop doing these rat in a cage, rat in a wheel kind of activities. Just stop it. Literally stop it. Okay. Come into yourself. And by yourself, I mean your 3, 4, 5-year-old, whatever the little one is. Okay. And now this little one like literally needs to be filled up a little bit more with love and nourishment. So now is the time that I want you to fully fill this little one up with love. And I just got a better idea. I want you to imagine that all of us are together. There are now 13 people on this call. So just imagine that there's 13 of us like holding one another, and our energetic hands are making a circle. Nobody is left out of this circle. This is basically the thing that is the epidemic going on in the world more than anything else, is isolation. Doing it by yourself, feeling the overwork of doing it by yourself. And so right now, I literally want you to imagine putting, not even holding hands, putting your arm around the person to the right and the left, and drawing in your brothers and sisters, drawing them in closer towards you and saying to them, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And then I want all of you to, you could let go of the people to the left and right and hold your baby. Your baby is your inner child. Just hold it in your hand and look at her or him. And she's like precious and innocent and deserves nothing but love. I want you to hold this little one towards your chest. This is your inner child. And just swarm her with love, or him. And I want you to say, I'm here for you. Because the truth is you really can't fully love another until you love yourself. So I'm here for you. The way you would literally love a baby is literally what you need to do to your inner child right now. This is like paramount time. And then breathe. Let your breathings synchronize. And then I'd like you to invite this little one. You could either invite this little one inside of you, or you could sort of like end however you would like with this little one. Let the little one know that you're always going to be there for him or her whenever she needs. Most people like to invite the little one inside of them, but you could end it with the little one however you would like. But just knowing that you guys are interconnected in the most intimate way. And so there's no separation between her and you. The beliefs, anytime you tell yourself a negative thought, you're basically beating up your inner child. How cruel. So go ahead and invite this little one inside. And after you do that, I want you to imagine that the nourishing ingredient you just gave to the little one, I want you to imagine that you're giving that to yourself in present time. So remember at the beginning, I asked you to find that part of you that is feeling anxiety, fear, or worry. So once again, locate that part of yourself and bring whatever ingredient whatever ingredient that the little one needed, bring that into yourself. So the love, the nourishment, knowing that it's okay. You're going to be okay. You are going to be okay. Yeah. And you could also ask, what is it I need around this right now? You could ask your higher self, or if you have a guide or somebody else, God, whoever you would like to ask, you could ask this being, what is it that I most need right now around my fear, around my worry? And go ahead and provide that to yourself. And we'll end with one more healing, actually two more. The first one is to ask yourself, what healing vibration would most benefit you right now? So it might be whatever color, I'm not going to suggest any colors, go ahead and ask yourself what healing vibration will most benefit you right now. And go ahead and imagine taking that healing vibration in through the crown of your head. And with this comes the ingredient that you just saw, whether it's more love, more nourishment, more being accepted, more being held, more being listened to, whatever that ingredient was, take that into the crown of your head along with the healing color and let that penetrate and let that go to every single cell of your body, filling every cell of your body up with this new color and this healing vibration. Let it go down your torso, down your arms, out through your fingers, down your pelvis, upper legs, knees, lower legs and feet, filling you up with this powerful, light, healing color. And I'm looking at all of you right now, and you look so strong and so powerful that the next thing I want you to do is I want you to just realize within yourself how you are overflowing right now. You're overflowing with beauty and radiance. And because of that, your cup spilleth over. So I would like you to spill it over outside of yourself and let it radiate out through your heart, out through your compassion, out through your love, and let it go to those around you who need it, which is basically like everybody. And so let it spread through the web. Let's start first closer to home, maybe people in your house or people in your building. So the innermost community. And then let it spread to your neighborhood, or maybe some social groups or work groups that you're affiliated with. And you could keep spreading it from the same color vibration that you chose. Let that color vibration spill out of you. And then widen it up to your whole city. Widen it to the people who are struggling right now with the coronavirus, who are infected, to their families. And just widen it to the world, because basically the whole world is in this. We're a unified field. You guys could probably tap into how connected we are. You are the magician. You are the healer here. You have the power to really impact people in a positive way, just like so much of the world is impacting you in a negative way, but it's not all negative. And I want you to actually turn the attention onto the positive and think about how this experience is actually benefiting you. From every negative, there's positives. I could list a few. It's bringing my family closer together. It's bringing me more into my slow practice. It's kicking my butt towards social media, which I've been ultra resistant to. It's, I think I'm actually going to read a book tonight, which is something I haven't done in a while. It's helping me to feel balanced in a lot of ways. It's helping me to realize what is really important in life. It's helping me to actually open my heart more and to be more compassionate and more empathic. And I'm realizing how I'm actually feeling more of the vibration than others. And I'm realizing how I actually have the power to help people in a positive way as well. So I'm feeling impact. I'm feeling my deep desire to be more connected to others in the world or in my community. And I'm feeling a deeper purpose call, which is helping people to step into their higher self, break out of the uh, lower vibrations, basically, that they're in. Okay, great. And just do one completion sweep of spreading your love vibration all around. And we could end with this circle that we're in together, because we are in a circle right now. And just imagine holding the hands of the sisters and brothers who are here in this healing group right now with us, and the people who will be listening to this later and joining us then. Give them a big squeeze, a big heart. And if you want to take a moment just to complete and say any last words, like within yourself, or if you want to say it out loud, you could, to end this healing. And this was basically a healing to remember who you are and bring you back to your truth. So remember to come back to your heart, come back to your truth. And with that, the healing is complete.